Why are we doing this? Because knowing what privacy legislation and rules and regulations are looking at to conform with in relationship to artificial intelligence development and data privacy, that's of major interest to many companies out there, maybe every company. So what this data set looks at, it looks at data subject rights, data controller obligations, things like consent requirements, processing requirements, penalties, sanctions, individual rights and responsibilities, international protection principles, and the organizational strategies and tools that you can put into place and implement to make sure that you're covering all this. Now, data is the main aspect that we're covering here when we're dealing with privacy laws, because it's all about privacy and data, because we're gathering so much data. So we're looking at stuff like data portability, Internet of Things, data retention policies, big data analytics, etc. Let me open up the big data sets. You can have a look at what's going on there. By the way, this data set, as per usual, go to the link below. In the link below, you'll find access details to the data set where you can purchase the whole data set and use it at your own will. Use it where it's the most beneficial to you. Comes as a CSV format and it's all in there. All right, so when I open up the data set, let me make myself a little bit smaller, because you don't need to see my face all the time. You need to be looking at what's happening here, what's going on there. That's way more interesting. There we go. I'm tiny here. Here I am in the corner. All right, let's have a look. Open up my screen. So, privacy laws. We've been having a look at all the privacy legislation that's out there right now and what they are focusing on. They're focusing on these topics, all these topics in relationship to data and privacy of humans, of people. So, for instance, what we have here is, and those are the blue greenish balls surrounding the main area of privacy laws. The blue greenish balls, they tell you the areas that we're focusing on. So, we're focusing on data collection, surveillance technology, surveillance laws, internet privacy, cybersecurity measures, data sharing, GDPR compliance, privacy by design, privacy breaches, data encryption, access requests, social media, data breaches, privacy frameworks, and on and on and on. There's up to 100 topics in here that we're covering in this data set, and each topic has a set of questions surrounding it. So if I look at, for instance, privacy violations, just picking a random one, privacy violations, open that one up. Privacy violations occur when a person's right to personal privacy is infringed upon by breaking one or more privacy laws. We see another ball opening up here. That's the dark blue ball. That's the function, the job role that you need to have in place in your organization to take care of all this, take care of privacy violations in relationship to privacy laws that are in place. So privacy violations, how can you deal with that? You can ask a question in your organization: who must follow the privacy and security rules? And the recommendations that we have against that, they're here. So those are the green balls. So the blue question, the blue ball is the question that's related to the main topic here with an explanation. This is the main topic. The subtopic of the main topic, which is the main topic, obviously, is privacy law. Subtopic is privacy violations. A question that's related to that is this one. And this is an explanation of what we're looking at. We're looking at privacy violations. So who must collect the privacy and security rules? We see green balls appearing here, and those green balls are the recommendations. So the recommendation here is identify and implement the data quality rules. Collect data from all sources for advanced analytics to have a must-have capabilities in place. Incorporate privacy by design. Have the technical capabilities to automate business rules. So make sure you're doing all that. Another thing that we're seeing here is this number. Can you see this? 464. This whole data set has a number of questions in here. A couple of hundred, and this is the prioritization of those questions. So the higher the number here, the higher the priority. So if it's number one, it's a number one question, and that's how we're diving into the top 7 questions of the whole data set pretty soon. So this is how it all connects, how it's all connected. What we see here is the main topic, then we see the subtopics: healthcare privacy, digital privacy, data protection principles, all the right to erasure, all the areas. I'm just clicking on that one because I'm interested. All the areas that we need to cover. I built this, but doesn't doesn't mean that I can remember everything that I put in there. Right to erasure. Oh yeah, also known as the right to be forgotten, gives individuals the right to have the personal data removed or deleted upon request. What do you need to do about data protection by design and default? Right, interesting. Okay, so these are all the subtopics. The blue balls are the questions, and the green balls are the activities, the recommendations. Now, we also have the dark blue balls, which are the job roles that you need to have in place to make sure that you're interpreting privacy laws and regulations well in your organization and you're managing it. The breach notification officer, privacy lawyer, security officer, privacy attorney, data access officer, cryptology analyst, security engineer, compliance specialist, etc., etc. Just pan over them so you have an idea of what type of job roles are related, functions are related to dealing with privacy legislation and privacy laws in your organization. So if I just open up on a random one, privacy compliance manager, outcome, all the activities and the questions that I need to be asking of the privacy compliance manager. So that's another way of looking at this data set and the content that's in here. Do I have all these job roles? A, functions, and B, I'm making sure that the job roles cover what needs to be covered by asking these questions of the job roles and the functions, and by figuring out the recommendations and see if they're in place. Right, same is with the questions. Quickly, before we go to the top 7 most important questions that we need to be asking, these are all the questions, and what we see here as well, we see here they're numbered, and the number is numbers from 1 to the highest number, and number 1 is the most important question, and the higher the number gets, the less important or less relevant or less relevant to the overall organization it is. So it goes into depth, for instance. This one's example has a lower number. How can nonprofits switch to a data-informed culture? So that's a lower score, which only focuses on nonprofits and not generic to each and every organization. So that's what the top 7 that we're focusing on will deal with. Then we have this one, of course, the all the recommendations that are in there, all the green balls, all the recommendations, the activities that need to be in place in an organization to make sure that we're managing the privacy laws and the recommendations that come out of it in an excellent way. So here, for instance, have a clearly defined talent management program in place to identify the talent and the question that comes out of it. So this is another way that looking at it. The question that comes out of it: how do you identify personal data being processed, and it's related to the privacy officer, who's a very busy person in this organization when you're dealing with privacy laws, obviously. All right, now let's go to the main event, and the main event is the 7 most important questions to ask. I should do the command well. There you go. The 7 most important questions to ask, and let's pull up the graph. Here's the graph. Okay, here we are, the 7 on your screen. Let's start with number 7. What should a privacy and data security program look like? Start with asking that question. Well, it needs to focus on privacy rights, which are the fundamental rights guaranteed to individuals on the privacy laws to protect and control their personal data. So you do that by having a privacy compliance manager in place and a data protection officer. And these are the activities that you need to have in place. Improve the scalability of your traditional program, so make sure it scales the more data you get in there. Get senior leadership and others in your organization on board with your business continuity and disaster recovery program in relationship to security. Evaluate security and consistency of data collection and analysis activities as a data breach response plan. Privacy compliance manager, data protection officer. Question number 6. What security and data privacy regulations apply to your organization? So know what's going on out there in the regulation sphere that applies to your organization. Identity privacy, it's related to that one, is the right to have your personal information, such as your name and contact details, protected from being misused or shared without your permission. Have a privacy consultant in place here and a privacy engineer in place here. Get more information about your organization, know more, learn more about your organization. Balance employee needs for access, availability, and flexibility with enterprise security, and have password change policies in place. That's pretty basic, isn't it? What security and data privacy regulations apply to your organization? Now, if I want to dive deeper into identity privacy, I'm going to pull that one out here. we'll get to see some more questions that are related to, here's the green ball, identity privacy. So more questions are, do consumers care about the benefits that digital identity services provide, namely protection against identity theft and improved data privacy? Do your consumers care? If they don't, you got to make them care. Is data privacy concern to consumers? Is data privacy, is there an identity technology that does adhere to security and privacy concerns? All right. So that's how it's related. Just unclick that one, otherwise my screen gets a bit messy. Number 5, does the vendor support fine-grained data access governance to meet privacy regulations? So can you rely on your vendor as well? Compliance manager, privacy officer, and quickly integrate your tools to enhance SME governance. Related to privacy regulations, there's the specific rules that govern how companies, so your vendors, your third-party vendors, your whole network, must protect personal data in compliance with privacy laws. Provide quality data to consumers along with better governance. Make sure that you have transparency, accessibility. Rate your own performance in regards to data governance. Have a validation master plan which contains specific provisions for data governance. People in place, compliance manager, privacy officer. Have those. Question number 4. Are controls in place to prevent any data security and privacy breaches? A privacy breach is when someone unlawfully accesses or discloses personal information in violation of existing privacy laws. We need legal counsel involved here. We'll probably have more legal counsel doing stuff here. Yeah, there we go. Legal counsel, busy because, hey, privacy laws. Lots of stuff opening up here. And now I'm having a problem, obviously, by making it go away again. All right, I'll leave that for now. And then we'll move it about a bit. And double click and go. There we go. Right. Are controls in place? So have a storage system to prevent this, account for the ever-increasing number of data breaches, make sure you're covering all that, have a process for dealing with data breaches, have processes for triaging incidents and identifying actual breaches, and that's a security analyst, obviously, that's busy with that. Need all log data from every critical system in order to perform security management. So this is what we're doing here. And question number 4, are controls in place to prevent any data security and privacy breaches? And obviously there's way more. If I want to focus on privacy breaches, I'm going to answer all these questions that are in here. More questions down here. They're all related to each other. All right. Now we're coming to question number 3 out of 7. 3, 2, and 1. Let's go with the top 3. Number 3. Are you truly prepared to deal with the security and privacy implications of the Smart Organization project and the type of frequency of data it collects? Smart Organization can mean smart city, for instance, can mean vehicles that drive by themselves, anything that collects a lot of data, IoT, anything that collects a lot of data. And are you prepared to deal with the security and privacy implications of that? Oh, here we go. Smart city, for example. Smart city privacy is the protection of personal data collected in urban cities and is regulated by various privacy laws. All right. So interact with artificial intelligence characters in the workplace. Does it have legal implications when I'm doing that? Provide remote access in compliance with your security. Those are the things that we want to be doing here. What kind of job roles do we have here? We have, again, here the data protection officer, and we have the privacy officer it's related to. Question number 2. Where are we? Question number 2. 1, 2. There we are. We're hiding a bit, are we? Does the data contain personal information with implications for privacy protection? Do you actually know? So do a privacy audit in your organization. Have a process to evaluate your compliance with privacy laws and ensure your information is properly protected. So do a privacy audit. That's my main thing here. Does the data contain personal information with implications for privacy protection? Do a privacy audit and have your privacy auditor doing that and privacy compliance officer. And these are the things they're looking for. The recommendations: strive to be aware of the implications, account for the business implications, collaborate to prevent the security implications, have a process in place to transport personal information. Use software to set your business strategy, financial strategy, lay out your procurement strategy to consider the legal implications of all of this. So does the data contain personal information with implications for privacy protection? Are you 100% sure? To do that, do a privacy audit. Question number 1. Final question, and then we end up with like a nice roadmap. You see it happening on your screen already. Question number one: is your information security and data privacy policy in compliance with industry standards and regulations? Privacy compliance is the process of following or adhering to specific privacy laws in order to protect and secure personal data. That's what we're doing here. You're asking this question of your organization, and then you're looking for these activities in your organization. Have a data protection officer or team responsible for data protection compliance. Let's have a look. Simply, or do you simply want to make people aware of the information that you're having, that you're storing on them, and how do you make them aware of that? Emphasize strict adherence to existing procedures and monitor the activities of portfolio management personnel for compliance. Implement a closed workflow to review and remediate compliance, etc. These are all the activities here. Now, when I open up the colored balls, these ones, I get to see the other questions that are related to, in this case, identity privacy. There we go. These are other questions related to identity privacy. Privacy audit, other questions related to privacy audit. Privacy compliance, other questions related to privacy compliance, regardless of the main one. Smart city privacy, smart organization, other questions related to it. Privacy breach. I'm opening these up so you can see other questions that are related to the main topic if you want to dive deeper into privacy breaches. And I'll also give you an idea of the main areas to focus on and look for when you're dealing with privacy laws and privacy regulations. So the main areas they're looking for right now, I've opened up all 7, are identity privacy, this one up here, top. Privacy audits, cover that. Privacy compliance, make sure you're doing that in your organization. Smart city, smart anything, privacy in your organization, wherever you collect data, make sure that you're in line with privacy laws and regulations. Privacy breaches, how do you deal with that? How do you make sure that if they happen, you know what to do? Privacy regulations, keep an eye on what's going on continuously and make sure that you're implementing what needs to be implemented. With this, and this is another one here. With this, now you have a roadmap that will show you how to approach privacy legislation and privacy laws in your organization. Make sure you're covering everything and make sure you don't forget anything. And you can go way deeper into this. The whole data set down here in the link below contains 55 privacy laws, functions, and their responsibilities. 357 as questions, around 600 questions regarding privacy laws, and 2,145 recommendations. So those are all the green balls, the recommendations. So that's a lot. That's a good data set. It's got everything. You can access it in the link below. Download, reuse, and use in your own organization. Now, before I leave you, I'm going to go out with a bang, as I like to do, which means this is showing everything that's in the data set, and it's building it on my screen right now. So what we're looking on your screen right now. So what you're looking at here are all the data that's in the data set. So you have all the subtopics that privacy legislation, privacy laws are looking at. Those are the green bluish balls, the bigger balls. Then you have the blue balls. Those are the questions, and there's 500 of those questions in here. All prioritized, organized on their priority, and their priorities organized by an algorithm that we've put in place that looks at one question in relationship to all the other questions, and then ranks it accordingly. And then it goes to the next question, ranks it accordingly, goes to the next question. When you do that over and over and over and over again, the most important questions come bubbling up to the top. So that's how we rank these questions. Then we have the job roles. Those are all the dark blue balls here. You see them in here. We have the questions, the blue balls, and we have the activities, the recommendations, which are all the green balls, and all of their relationships in here. And explanations of what the subtopics are. Those are the orange balls that you see here. So with this, going out with a bang, thanks for having me. I had a great time, and we'll see you again